Before we dive into today's case, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment. Trust me, you're going to want to be here for what comes next. The story begins on a cold October morning in the small town of Redstone, Colorado, a place known for its quiet streets, friendly neighbors, and a calm that rarely broke. But on that morning, everything shifted. Police sirens tore through the silence as law enforcement rushed toward the old Harrington Bridge, a narrow steel crossing that stretched over the icy Blue Ford River. A jogger had found something unsettling, a car abandoned in the center of the bridge, driver's door open, hazard lights blinking in the dark. The vehicle belonged to Emily Carter, a respected local school counselor known for her kindness and calm presence. She had vanished without a trace. Detective Maya Ellison arrived first. She scanned the scene carefully, taking in every detail. Emily's handbag left neatly on the passenger seat, her phone still connected to the car's Bluetooth, a half-finished travel mug of coffee still warm. There were no signs of struggle, no skid marks, no broken glass. Only one thing felt out of place, a small silver puzzle piece lying near the driver's door, as if intentionally placed there. Maya bagged it in evidence and exhaled slowly. "This doesn't feel like a kidnapping. It feels staged," she muttered. As officers combed the bridge and surrounding woods, a deeper unease settled over the team. Emily wasn't the type to run off. She had no known enemies, no debts, no recent conflicts. Her last phone call had been made just an hour before her disappearance, to her coworker, saying she was on her way home from a late school meeting. The investigation quickly pulled in Emily's husband, Daniel Carter, whose reaction raised more questions than answers. He appeared shaken when detectives informed him, but Maya noticed something in his eyes, not shock, but fear. When asked where he had been, Daniel hesitated before claiming he had fallen asleep early and didn't hear anything. His alibi felt thin. Meanwhile, Emily's best friend, Rachel Nolan, revealed something unexpected. Emily had been distant and stressed for months. Rachel said Emily hinted she had discovered something at work, something she wasn't supposed to see, and was considering telling the authorities. But before Rachel could explain further, tears overwhelmed her. Back at the station, forensic results from the bridge came in. The puzzle piece had no fingerprints, no identifiable marks, no obvious connection to Emily. But it was the beginning of a breadcrumb trail Maya couldn't ignore. Late that night, as the detective reviewed the case file, her phone buzzed. An anonymous message had appeared on her screen. No text, no explanation, only a photo of another puzzle piece resting on what looked like an old wooden floor. Beneath it, a single timestamp, 2:17 a.m. Confused, Maya leaned forward, studying the image. The pattern on the piece, it matched the one found at the bridge. She felt her pulse quicken. Someone was watching. Someone was sending a message. And at 2:17 a.m., whatever that message was, it was coming next. Detective Maya Ellison didn't sleep that night. The anonymous photo kept replaying in her mind like a loop she couldn't break. The timestamp, the angle, the flaw, everything about it felt intentional, calculated, almost taunting. Whoever sent it wanted her attention. And they had it. By morning, the image had been sent to forensics. The technicians studied the wood grains, the lighting, the background blur, anything that could hint at a location. Nothing matched any known place connected to Emily or her family. But one detail stood out. The puzzle piece was made of a glossy, high-quality material, something custom-made. Not from a children's puzzle, not from a board game. More like a personalized item. Maya kept circling back to one question. Why leave a puzzle piece at the bridge and then send another directly to her? The case took a sharp turn when Emily's car GPS history revealed a stop she had never mentioned to anyone, a storage facility on the far edge of town. A place she visited twice in the last month. When detectives arrived, they discovered something even stranger. Emily rented a small unit under a different surname. Inside, the room was nearly empty except for one metal cabinet locked with a digital keypad. When they finally pried it open, a stack of confidential school files spilled out, disciplinary reports, emails between staff, financial documents, and handwritten notes. At the bottom of the cabinet lay something Maya didn't expect, a sealed envelope with the words, "If anything happens to me, give this to Maya Ellison." Inside the envelope was a short letter in Emily's rushed handwriting. I uncovered something I shouldn't have. Not with the students, with the staff. Someone is hiding money, covering tracks, and using the school as a shield. I think I'm being followed. If anything happens to me, the person you're looking for is closer than you think. Trust no one in authority. Emily had been investigating her own workplace. And someone there didn't want that story told. As Maya processed the letter, her partner, Officer Grant Lewis, walked in. We pulled the building's security footage. Emily wasn't alone the last time she came here. There was someone with her. Maya's heartbeat quickened. A colleague. Grant shook his head. No. Someone you know. He handed her a printed still image from the footage. The figure beside Emily was wearing a hooded jacket, face partially blurred, but the outline, the height, the posture were unmistakable. It was Rachel Nolan, Emily's best friend. The revelation hit like a punch to the chest. Rachel had been emotional, cooperative, devastated, everything you'd expect from a friend in pain. But now her presence at the storage unit raised a chilling question. Was she helping Emily, or watching her? Before Maya could contact Rachel, a call crackled through the radio. Detective Ellison, we've got movement on your anonymous message case. Another puzzle piece showed up. Maya pressed the radio to her ear. Where? There was a pause. At the Carter house. It was placed on the front porch. She froze. Daniel Carter, the grieving husband, was now connected to the same message sender who seemed to be following Maya's every step. Someone was pulling strings on both sides of this investigation. And now, they were tightening them. The puzzle piece left on Daniel Carter's porch was identical to the first two, same smooth finish, same peculiar cut. But this time, something new was etched on its back, a faint series of numbers, almost invisible unless tilted under the right light. 41.73, 108.55. Coordinates. Detective Maya Ellison mapped the location immediately. It pointed to an abandoned ranger cabin deep inside the Blueford Forest, a place long out of use, isolated, and almost impossible to stumble upon by accident. Whoever was orchestrating this puzzle wanted her there. And they wanted her alone. Maya drove toward the site with her partner Grant trailing behind at a distance. The forest grew darker, thicker, as the dirt road narrowed. The cabin appeared through the fog like a forgotten silhouette, its windows cracked, its roof sagging from years of neglect. Yet the front door was slightly ajar, as if someone had been inside recently. Her footsteps were slow, controlled. This is a setup, she whispered. Inside, dust covered everything except a single wooden table in the center of the room. On it lay a small box, open, revealing several more puzzle pieces. And beside them a stack of printed photos. Maya's breath caught. Photos of Emily, taken from afar. Emily walking to her car. Emily at the storage facility. Emily meeting someone in the school parking lot. And then the final photo, a blurry shot of Emily on the Harrington Bridge. She picked up the last image, studying the shadows. A second figure stood behind Emily. Not Daniel. Not Rachel. It was Grant. A floorboard creaked softly behind her. Grant's voice emerged, steady but hollow. I was wondering how long it would take you. Maya turned slowly. Grant stood at the doorway, hands visible, expression unreadable. You've been sending the puzzle pieces, she said quietly. He nodded. I needed you to find the truth. All of it. Her pulse tightened. Then why hide it? Why not come forward? Because no one would believe me without proof. Emily discovered that money was being siphoned from school funds, not by staff, but by someone in law enforcement helping manage the local grants. His eyes locked onto hers. The someone was Daniel Carter. Maya's mind raced. Daniel? Emily's husband? Grant continued, he was laundering money through school budgets. Emily confronted him. She came to me because she didn't trust anyone else. We met at the storage unit. She handed me everything. But before she could go public, Daniel found out. Maya swallowed hard. So you followed Emily to keep her safe? I tried, he said. But Daniel got to her first. I found the bridge minutes after she disappeared. I saw him leaving. I didn't have enough evidence to arrest him, not without risking the entire case. So I fed you the clues. You were the only one who could force it into the open. A sudden crunch of footsteps interrupted them. Daniel Carter stepped into the doorway behind Grant, eyes cold, expression tight. You should have stopped digging, he said quietly. Maya's voice dropped to a whisper. Daniel, it's over. But Daniel didn't move. Instead, he smirked, a small, chilling expression. You really think you understand the puzzle, he said. Emily wasn't the only one keeping secrets. Before he could say another word, police sirens echoed through the forest. Backup arrived, surrounding the cabin. Daniel's face fell, the final piece snapping into place. He was taken into custody without resistance. Hours later, as the case files were sealed and the long night ended, Maya stepped outside and stared at the remaining puzzle pieces still inside the evidence bag. The truth had been revealed, but something still felt unresolved. Grant approached quietly. You did it. Maya shook her head. No. We did it. And something tells me this wasn't Daniel's puzzle alone. Grant hesitated. You think someone else was involved? She looked at the forest, cold wind brushing her face. I think this was only the first picture in a much bigger puzzle. She turned away from the cabin, the evidence bag in her hand. If you think this story was intense, she murmured, you're not ready for the next one. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it.